Hello everyone, this is Pooka, and welcome to another game from Bad Deck Monday on Pokemon TCG Online. This game comes from my weekly live stream on Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our stream at twitch.tv/thetopcut. If you're not watching it every week, well, you should be. That's all I'm going to say about that. Alright, this game we're going to be playing a deck that I've used before. I actually did a breakdown of the deck before. It's going to be Vileplume. As we see, I start with the Chimchar, and we get this Oddish as well. And basically the deck aims to get Vileplume into play. I believe it has Allergy Pollen. I think that's the Allergy Panic. So many Vileplumes, so many flowers, so many allergies. I can't even keep them straight anymore. But yeah, it's the Vileplume has an ability that makes all weaknesses ×4. And then we just play an attacker of every type and try to hit for weakness. That is the goal of the deck here. I do have an Ultra Ball on this first turn. Looks like we're going up against a Tepig, so it's an Emboar deck, it seems like. We don't see that very often, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to check to see what's in my deck, and the first thing I'm looking for is Rayquaza here. That is my Dragon Pokemon. Every Emboar deck that I've seen plays Rayquaza EX, so I need Rayquaza, and go figure, the one type I need for the matchup is prized. Alright, so the obvious hole in this deck strategy is that, well, there's not enough space to run multiples of everything, so you can only run one attacker of every type, really. And if your one type of attacker is prized, then you kind of lose. You can't really do anything. So that's going to be a major problem here. But we do have an opening here. As I have a Heavy Ball, I can grab Vileplume and then Rare Candy into Vileplume. There we go. Allergy Panic, that's what it's called. Okay. So turn 2, Rare Candy into Vileplume. And then we're going to have a Level Ball as well for probably an Oddish. Just get another one into play in case the Vileplume I have gets knocked out. My deck is worthless without ×4 weakness because all of my Pokemon max out at like 20, 30, or 40 damage. That's really all I can do with this deck. Of course, the strategy is to do these low amounts of damage, plus a Silver Bangle against Pokemon EX, and then with the ×4 weakness, you then do 200 damage to an EX. That is the goal of the deck. But I missed big time here. I was trying to draw a Float Stone or a Switch, and then a double colorless energy so that I could Reckless Charge with Lapras for the win. But I missed. So now we're just going to have to Tropical Beach again. I used the laser there. Try to draw myself an extra card. I may have been better off saving that laser, but oh well. Not a big deal. At least I don't think it will be a big deal. So my opponent does play a Level Ball here. My opportunity to win on that turn, or to win in the next turn, is out the window. We see a Heavy Ball as well. My opponent has had a rather slow start, I would say. Well, it wasn't too bad. I mean, I think he's going second here. So this is his second turn. Does get a turn to Emboar. We'll see if he can get an attacker up. If he can, I am going to be in some trouble. He's also going to Catcher out Vileplume. Uh-oh. That's no good. We need Vileplume in play. But, I don't think I'll be able to do much of anything, so I'm not too worried about it. I could just get another Vileplume into play over the next few turns. And we'll see if he can actually knock out my Vileplume. If not, it's not a big deal. Of course, Vileplume does have a 3 retreat cost, I think, so he's a pain in the butt. And there we see Combee. The thing I love about this deck is that the hands just look so ridiculous. I mean, look, I have a Stunfisk, Munna, Combee, Floatstone, Chorus, Laser, and a Blind Energy. Why are these cards in the same deck? Well, it all ends up working out, though. Alright, so now we have, I'm going to put the Floatstone in the Vileplume, give it a free retreat, try and hit the double colorless, and we got it. I'm going to go ahead and send out Lapras here. And we're going to Reckless Charge. I may Ultra Ball but I don't think there's anything I even want. So the reason I'm doing this, I'm being so aggressive with Lapras. I am actually doing 20 to myself, which sets me up to be knocked out by Emboar. But I was hoping to get Rayquaza out of the prizes. I need Rayquaza to win this game. And as we can see off of that prize, I got a Super Rod. So I got not what I was looking for. And that is going to be a big problem moving forward, I think. Again, I'm still assuming he plays Rayquaza EX, but actually he discarded a Water Energy earlier. So maybe a white Kyurem EX Emboar deck. So this truly is Bad Deck Monday. And this white Kyurem EX actually is going to destroy me. If we can take a look at it. White Inferno does 100 plus 10 for each damage counter on the white Kyurem EX. Oh boy. That is no good. We're going to go ahead and switch here. I'm going to play the Juniper this turn, so I might as well just go ahead with the switch. We're going to Ultra Ball. Probably search for a Gloom this turn if it's in there. So we'll go ahead and discard a Vileplume and a Zorua. The other Vileplume's in there, so I don't really think I'll be in any trouble. I may not even have to Super Rod. I don't want to shuffle in cards I don't really need. So I don't know. I think I'm not even going to bother with the Super Rod. And we're going to draw a fresh 7 here. I was hoping for a Pokemon catcher so I could bring out the Emboar. But, swing and a miss. That's what happened there. Now, what do we do at this point? I don't have Rayquaza to work with. So I'm going to need to do something to take down the mighty white Kyurem EX. Because I have absolutely nothing. I'm going to keep trying to just draw Pokemon catcher. I'm just going to go ahead and sacrifice the Chimchar. Sorry, buddy. And play a bunch of stuff down, and then Tropical Beach, draw 3. Hopefully draw a Skyla or a catcher. But looks like I did not draw either one of those. And if I don't draw a Pokemon catcher, I'm going to need to start dealing with white Kyurem EX right now. I really have nothing to deal with this when Rayquaza is prized. Of course, Rayquaza has Dragon Pulse for 1 lightning energy, does 40. And then with a Silver Bangle, it'll do 70 base damage times 4. So we'll actually do 280 damage to the white Kyurem EX just for 1 energy, which is awesome. But when I don't have Rayquaza, what do I have? I have Stunfisk, which does 40. I have Lapras, which does 40. Combee does 30. So these really are my options. When you don't hit for weakness, you don't really do damage. That's the problem with this deck. So my one Rayquaza is prized here, and it's going to be a very big problem right now. So now I have determined, okay, I need to slowly wear down this white Kyurem EX over the next, 3 turns. Alright, so this turn I put a Silver Bangle onto Combee. We're going to go ahead and Chorus for 6 cards here. And then a retreat into Combee. And Sting Missile for 60. Shuffling Combee and the Silver Bangle back into the deck. And Gloom will be our sacrifice for this turn. Things are not looking good right now. White Kyurem EX is now doing 160 damage since I damaged him. And where do we go from here? I'm certainly going to be losing at this point. Hopefully at some point I can take down this behemoth of a Pokemon with my little dinky attackers. I need to do 120 more damage over the next few turns. I do have Stunfisk, which has Rumble, so I can Rumble for 70 next turn. That is an option. And then I'll need to do 50 somehow to follow up. That is the state of my game right now. It's certainly not looking good. But we're not going to give up. We're going to try to find a way out here. As my opponent does play a Skyla here. It could be annoying if he gets like a catcher, brings up Vileplume, takes that out. I don't mind that too much. We'll see what he gets. I'm trying to see, can I actually deck him out? Is that an option? He has 12 cards left. Emboar, of course, has a 4 retreat cost. White Kyurem EX has a 3 retreat cost, so maybe that's an option if I get some Pokemon catchers. I can maybe stall an Emboar in the active spot, and he won't be able to retreat or attack, and he will run out of cards and lose. And you know, with that Emboar, that's looking like it may be a solution. Now, of course, this kind of a deck does run lots of superior energy retrieval. I'm sure it runs like Float Stone, so it may not be an option, but we'll see. For now, we're going to try to deal with the active Pokemon if we can. And I am just going to attach a second energy to Stunfisk and retreat into Stunfisk. And let's get ready to rumble for 70 damage. That's not doing much. Okay, well, we have whittled down the HP of White Kyurem EX at least. Basically, my goal is to knock out the active, and he's going to White Inferno me in response for 230 damage. Ow. My goal here is to take 2 prizes. Cross my fingers, please get Rayquaza out of the prizes. And we're going to have to find a way. I was hoping to draw a Blend or a Prism here so I could just use Combee and save my Silver Bangle for a later time. But looks like we're going to have to Level Ball for a Munna. And Munna's going to get in here. And we're going to attach a Double Colorless onto my purple little dude. And send it out with a Silver Bangle and Ram for 50. The whole cast is getting involved here. Come on, Rayquaza. Oh, no. At this point, things just may be over. I do have one more chance to win, I think. If I can draw a Pokemon catcher. So it's probably going to play out like this. I'm going to get knocked out this turn by something. Munna's definitely going to get knocked out. And then my opponent will go down to 2 prizes. So I'm going to have to take a prize probably on this turn. If I can take a knockout, I need to get Rayquaza out of the prizes. Then my opponent will attack again, go down to 1. But if I get Rayquaza out of the prizes, I can then Dragon Pulse the White Kyurem EX for the game and win. So I'm hoping that's really my only hope for the rest of this game. My opponent just play a superior energy retrieval. And now there's a lot of energy in play and a Frozen City. So this is a Frozen City White Kyurem deck where you use Inferno Fandango with Emboar. And then you purposely put damage onto White Kyurem EX to use White Inferno for, if you attach 4 times with the Frozen City in play, you damage yourself for 80. And then you do 180 damage to EX Pokemon, knocking them out in 1 hit. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm just going to be knocked out by White Kyurem EX, and now, well, at least I drew a Tropical Beach off of this N. At this point, it looks just about over. I don't even have the catcher this turn. I really just have nothing going for me. What can I do? The only thing I can think of is that Vileplume does have 140 HP, so White Kyurem EX cannot even knock it out. So perhaps if I leave Vileplume active and Tropical Beach, my opponent won't be able to take a prize this turn. And then maybe I can draw a Pokemon catcher next turn. And then if I do that, we can take down the Emboar. I do have an attachment, doesn't really matter where I put it. I could put it on Combee so that it gets shuffled back in if I use Sting Missile. I guess there's an off chance I can use Pollen Spray with Vileplume, so I might as well put it on the active. And then we'll go ahead and Tropical Beach. At this point, this game seems just about over. But, if I do survive the turn, and then get a Pokemon catcher with this Skyla, knock out one of the Emboar, and then I can take... Oh, I survived the turn. Oh, we may have a shot. I need to get Rayquaza out of the prizes now. I can Reckless Charge one of the Emboars with Lapras. Okay, the dream is alive. Is this going to happen? Look, my deck is almost all energy. That's crazy. Skyla for the Pokemon catcher. I guess we'll just bring up the Emboar that has the float stone on it. That doesn't really matter. They both have 3 energy. Just one has a float stone, so maybe if I catcher stall, he may not even have a single energy left. I don't know. Alright, but here we go. Here's our Hail Mary. We have a 1 in 3 chance of getting Rayquaza out of the prizes here. Reckless Charge. Gonna knock out Emboar with our Lapras here. And we need that Rayquaza, baby. Give it to me one time. Oh, no. Well, that does not look like a Rayquaza. That is a Skyla. So, Rayquaza is in one of my last 2 prizes. And it looks like our journey may be over here, folks. I'm not sure what to do at this point. I don't know if I can even survive the turn. I don't have enough energy to attack with Vileplume. None of my Pokemon have enough HP to survive at this point. Rayquaza, ironically, is the only one with over 100 HP. Besides Vileplume, which has 100 damage on it already. So I'm just going to Dowsing Machine here. You know, I have one chance, and it is a long shot. We're going to Dowsing Machine, discarding N. It really doesn't matter what I discard here. I'll get rid of N and Rare Candy. Probably could have gotten rid of Rare Candy and Vileplume, since I'm really not going to get that back into play at this game. I'm not going to have time, but here we go. We need the old-fashioned please bail me out strategy. And that is going to be Hypnotoxic Laser. And get a heads and hope my opponent stays asleep. That is the Desperation move. How often have we seen this in competitive play, guys? We see it all the time. Well, I got no chance to win. Let's try to keep him asleep. Oh, we got a heads. Alright. So, just to put this in perspective of what I actually need to win this game, first of all, he needs to stay asleep. And then I'm going to need an energy attachment this turn. And alright, I do have a blend energy. I was hoping to power up like Stunfisk or something, and with like a silver bangle, and just start picking away. But now I have a blend, and I actually need to power up Vileplume. And he stays asleep. Alright. Whew. So we have a turn here. Now, actually, Vileplume has an attack, Pollen Spray, which does 50 and puts your opponent to sleep and poisons them. So at this point, the only way I can win, first of all, my opponent just cannot draw a switch at any point. Otherwise, I lose. But assuming my opponent doesn't get a switch, I need to Pollen Spray, and basically my opponent has to stay asleep for 3 straight turns. 1 has already happened, so I need my opponent to stay asleep for 2 more turns, and oh no, I didn't even get an energy off of the N. Oh no. So my opponent wakes up. Whew, alright, we got an energy. We'll be able to attack with Vileplume now. And this would be one of the most absurd wins ever if we could pull this off. I'm going to go ahead and attach. Pollen Spray is a ridiculously terrible attack for 4 energy. It does 50 poison and sleep. Here we go, Pollen Spray. Come on, stay asleep. Stay asleep. Yes! Okay. So, now, the white Kyurem EX is up to 80 damage. He stayed asleep for 2 turns. We went for the miracle Hypnotoxic Laser heads, tails. It worked. We powered up Vileplume. He stayed asleep. Now, just one more time, I need to attack. That sleep flip doesn't matter. We need to attack one more time here. Pollen Spray, and hope my opponent stays asleep one more time. Can we do it? This is the flip for the game. And yes! Oh my, what? No way. Oh, no way. White Kyurem EX stays asleep. And he passes. He doesn't have a switch either. Is this really happening? And my opponent says GG. Somehow, without Rayquaza, we were able to take down 2 white Kyurem EX and Vileplume with Pollen Spray. I don't think I've ever used that attack in my life, and I don't think I ever will again. Pollen Spray knocks out the white Kyurem EX. Hey, what's up, Rayquaza? Nice of you to join the party after the game's over. And somehow, someway, we have managed to win this game. Attacking with Combee, attacking with Munna, with Lapras, with Stunfisk, and Vileplume. This is one of the craziest games I've ever played in my life, and I am still in shock that I won. But I hope you guys enjoyed this game. It was awesome. This is just the magic of Bad Deck Monday. I'll have some more videos for you guys soon. See you guys next time. This is Pooka from the Top Cut, and take care.